Hi everybody, John Stevens here. I want to talk to you a little bit today about why I'm supporting the public safety building in Pleasant Grove, Utah. First of all, I want to start out with saying thank you to everyone who I know and I'm associated with who stand on both sides of this issue. There are people who are adamantly opposed to it, and there are people like myself who are very supportive of it and want to see this go through. I want to make sure that as we go throughout this process that everybody stays kind and cordial to one another, that we continue to make sure that the facts are talked about, that this issue is addressed in the way that we are used to here in Pleasant Grove, in a neighborly and kind fashion. I've had the opportunity throughout the last couple of years, quite a few years actually, since we moved to Pleasant Grove, my family and I've had the opportunity to serve on the library board, on the planning commission. I was even lucky enough to be able to serve as the chair of the planning commission and talk about the proper way to go through getting buildings like this in our city, making sure that the citizens are involved. I've had the opportunity to work hand in hand with the city council, past mayors and current mayors, who have all been excellent public servants here within Pleasant Grove City. A few of the issues, if you'll go to plgrove.org, you can see a lot of these papers that I'm going to be reading through today. One of them actually goes through and in great detail talks about what's going on with the public safety building. A lot of frequently asked questions. One of them is, how much will this bond amount be? As many of you know, the bond amount will be $12.67 million, and it'll take 20 years to pay it off. A lot of people have talked about, are we bonding the entire issue? Can't the city sell land? Can't they go through and take some money from the city? And that actually goes through, and actually $1.3 million is from the sale of city-owned property, and some cash on hand to go towards soft costs on the project. If the citizens choose to wait, the cost will increase by a projected $2.6 million for 5 years, or $3.8 million for 10 years. These are hard costs that we as a city can't afford. We don't have that extra money. So if we were to hold off, it would be irresponsible for us as citizens to spend that extra money by holding off. It's a general obligation bond. And instead of saving up for it, this is a good question that I've actually been had. A lot of people have emailed me, they've called me, we've talked face to face, where it says, why do we finance this kind of project instead of saving up for it? And the answer is, saving this amount of money would take 19 years when considering inflation. Regardless, taxes would have to be raised by the same amount beginning now. So if we go through and we bond this, then we as citizens will pay it off in 19 years, as opposed to having our, either way, taxes will increase if we were to save for it. And by doing that, we would have increased taxes for the 19 years, and we paid at the end, and the hard costs would go up. So once again, we would be paying more to do this if we were to do it that way. This is responsible spending on behalf of the city and the citizens. The cost per square foot, as compared to other cities, one of the biggest things we keep hearing about, and I've had people calling me about, is they talk about the other cities. Well, American Fork has this, Saratoga has this, Spanish Fork has that. The thing that we all need to come to a consensus and decide is that Pleasant Grove City needs to do what's best for Pleasant Grove City. We cannot base our needs upon those of another city or another state or any other location. A good friend of mine, hopefully he doesn't mind this, I was looking at Facebook, and he wrote, and I quote, he says, let's talk some reality here. Pleasant Grove used to be a little town of 2,000 when I first moved here as a kid in 1955. The fire station was in the little building on the northwest corner of Center and Main in City Hall. The police and libraries were in the long, ugly building on the east side of Main Street. In the mid-'80s, the town had grown to 10,000. The fire station was moved into what had been the cafeteria and shop of the old junior high. And the new police station, City Hall, was built on the corner of First, East, and Center. The library went into the old school building across the street facing the fire station doors. Later, the new library building was built in the north end of the old junior high, football field facing north, First North. Now, how big is Pleasant Grove today? He writes, maybe 35,000. How big will it be in 20 years? 50,000? One thing is for certain, it needs a city-sized city hall and police station. It needs a city-sized fire station that might even do for the growing population. These are the facts. As Pleasant Grove continues to grow, the needs of the city will expand. Once again, if you go with me to plgrove.org, you can pull this flyer that goes through and talks about the population. In 1980, we had 11,000, so my friend was pretty close. Population in 2014, 35,000. The current public emergency service demand has more than tripled. Population 2024 is estimated 40,000 plus, and this is actually projected by State of Utah, the MAG, and U.S. Census Bureau. Population in 2040, 47,000 people, and that is a projected build-out of Pleasant Grove City. A lot of people are talking about the buildings are fine, they're secure, and I highly disagree with them. If you go through, once again, the original structure for the fire was built in 1949. It was never intended to become a fire station. It does not meet the 1997 Uniform Building Code Section 1630.2 for seismic code. The fire station does not meet the NFPA 1500 or EPA standards. It cannot hold current inventory of fire and rescue apparatus. Outside setback is unsafe due to short distance between the bays and the street. There are insufficient space for full-time fire and paramedic crew. The crew's quarters, kitchen, laundry, medical storage, and other spaces are insufficient for current needs using structure retrofitted 30 years ago. There's only one workstation for writing reports. Lack of training space and meeting rooms. Bathroom and restroom is not separated and used by the public also. And the hallways are used for storage. Talking about the police station. It has unsecure prisoner processing and transport. Inadequate evidence storage, short and long term. The records are stored under the stairs, in an elevator shaft, and in hallways. Our evidence is stored in hallways and elevator shafts and under stairs. Dispatch layout and consoles deemed the worst in the state by a state technician. Dilapidated data network control room. Insufficient workspace for the officers writing reports. Investigation and evidence processing areas undersized. Interrogation rooms are undersized, lack ventilation, and windows. Booking areas near the communications area. Their security and safety of civilian employees has been compromised on several occasions. Expanded restrooms and locker facilities are needed, and currently no facilities for our citizen programs. An example, hunter safety, traffic school, etc. Now on to the court. The physical size of courtroom is prohibitively too small. Concern for safety of judge and court staff is there are no private restrooms, no separation from defendants, and multiple shared areas. The secure transfer of prisoners to and from court. Presently, did you know that prisoners actually walk past the lobby? They walk right through the public to get into the court. And when seated in courtroom waiting, they must sit with treatment providers. There's no privacy for attorneys and clients and must meet in public areas. There's no jury deliberation room. Clerk's office is used for deliberation. There's insufficient storage for court records. They're stored in boxes wherever there's space available, on a shelf or even on floors. The courtroom size is inadequate due to the size of the calendar. Seats are occupied all day, and some people are forced to stand against a wall or wait in the lobby until their name is called. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but a building that was adequate for Pleasant Grove's needs 30 years ago is not adequate for the needs now. I challenge each and every single one of you, go and visit our fire station. Our wonderful firemen will be more than happy to give you a tour around the facility, and they'll point out both the good and the bad, making sure that you have both sides of the argument. Go to the police station. Once a month, I have the honor of being able to meet there with a bunch of the honorary colonels. Go on a tour there. See where evidence is stored. Talk with the police officers. Ask them. Linda Chipman, great friend of mine. She'll take you on a tour herself. Sorry, Linda, if I volunteered you there. But go and tour our public safety buildings. And you will grow to learn the same way that I have, that if there ever were an earthquake and we would need them to come and rescue us from our homes, they would not be able to even get out of their own buildings. The fire station has been deemed unsafe during a seismic activity. The police station was not built to stand this long. We as citizens need to do what's right for ourselves and our children and for the safety of the public, and make sure that we vote yes on the public safety building. If you have any questions, please make sure visit the website plgrove.org You can give me a call or email me. Talk to any police officer or fireman. Visit with any of our wonderful city council members or our mayor. Talk to them as to why they feel the way they do. And once again, I encourage every single one of you, myself included, to please remain kind and cordial, the way we do here in Pleasant Grove. And when discussing this, whether you are for or against it, never forget that first and foremost, we're neighbors and we're friends. And together we can come up with a solution for the public safety buildings. I ask each and every one of you to please join me, John Stevens, in voting yes this November for the public safety building bond. Thank you.